Hey everyone, I'm Chris here with my colleague Maria. We work on the landing page team here at Gartner Digital Markets, and we're going to be talking about how to upgrade your landing pages for your PPC campaigns. We're specifically going to be showing how to edit pages created in Unbounce, but a lot of the concepts we're going to be going over are important to anyone advertising on Gartner Digital Markets or really any PPC channel. Just to clarify, Unbounce is a totally separate company. We're not affiliated with them and we don't work for them, but we do use Unbounce's landing page tool every day as we create landing pages for Gartner Digital Markets, PPC vendors. So whether our team built you a landing page or you've built one yourself, it's really important to keep it up to date and ensure that you're putting your best foot forward. If you make any changes or updates to your product, or if you're getting, say, a really great testimonial that you want to highlight, really anything like that should be reflected on your PPC campaign and on your landing page. So for the agenda for today, we're going to be going over basic account navigation within Unbounce, how to make basic edits to a landing page, how to configure the page for mobile, how to view basic lead information, running A/B tests, and how to duplicate a page for other PPC campaigns. And then we'll be taking some questions at the end. We are going to be running through things a little quickly since there's a lot to go over, but there will be a recording of this presentation. So we'll go ahead and get started. So here we are on the Unbounce homepage. I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. And this will take us to the Unbounce homepage. If you're going to be building a new page, you click this button right up here. Because we're going to be editing a current page, I'm going to go ahead and click on the page title. And that will take us to the page view. Now the page view gives you an overview of the page, including the page name, the URL, and an overview of some key numbers, including the number of visitors, the number of conversions, and then the conversion rate. You may notice if you log into your Unbounce account that the numbers displayed here are different from those on the Gartner Digital Markets vendor portal. If you're looking to figure out your conversion rate or to run some analytics, definitely use the numbers from the vendor portal. The numbers on Unbounce are affected every time you come in to edit your page or do anything like that, so the vendor portal will be the accurate numbers to use. So to make edits to a page, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Edit button, and that's going to take me into the Unbounce page builder. The page that we're going to be working on today is one of the templates that are available within Unbounce. If you're going to be making a new page, these templates are a really great place to start. If you're feeling really ambitious, you can do what our team does and build a brand new page from scratch also. So here is the page builder. And you can see that this website is broken down into the different sections, and each section has things like text boxes, images, buttons, and some other elements. This section up here at the top is referred to as what's above the fold, and it's what the viewer can see without scrolling. This is probably the most important part of your page. You want to make sure that all of their most important information is available right away to your visitors. That includes your main differentiator and some form of value proposition, qualifying information, which we generally recommend including within the subheadline here, and a call to action. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with editing the page. And the most important thing that you'll need to edit is text. There's a lot of research that proves that the copy that you have on a landing page has a huge impact on conversion rate. One of the most important things is having a message match between the ad and the landing page. So with Gartner Digital Markets, that's going to be your long description, and you really want to make sure that what it says there matches what people land on this landing page. So say, for example, that you've decided that you're only going to target enterprises. You want to make sure that you mention that information in your long description on Capterra to help qualify the customer assignment here. And you also want to make sure that that's visible on the page. So I'm going to change this text here, and to change text, you double-click within a text box, and that will bring you into the text editor. And then I can go ahead and highlight the text I want to change and just type it in. So changing text really is that easy within Unbounce. You can take any text box, double-click within it, and then change any words that you need to. The second major thing that you'll need to edit will be images. Let's say that you've updated your product and you have a great new screenshot to show off. So I'm going to update this screenshot on the phone here. And just as a helpful tip, this is one way that we like to build pages. This is actually two separate images. There's a screenshot and a picture of a phone, and you can just layer them on top of each other. So what I'm going to do is select the image of the screenshot and delete it, and then I'm going to add a new image on top. To add images, you go over to this bar here, and then you click and hold on image, and then just drag it onto the page. I'm going to be uploading a new image, so I'm going to click down here, navigate to the folder, and then double-click the image to upload it. And then double-click again to select that image. So speaking of screenshots, this is really one of the most important things you want to keep up to date on your landing page. If you make any changes to your product, it's really important that they're being reflected on the page. You want to show customers the latest version of your software. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just resizing the image to fit. And then once you do that, you can reposition it. And I've updated the image. Adding text is just as simple as adding images. You can go over to the side here where it says text, click, drag, and drop it on to the page, and then you just double click to edit the text box, and you can enter text. One thing to keep in mind when adding text is to ensure that the design of the page is consistent. You can see that this looks totally different. So you can come over to the properties bar here, and you can change the font, the size, the color, and a lot of other properties of the text. So you want to make sure that if you're adding any text, it fits the design of the page. Another alternative to that is you can duplicate an existing text box and then edit that text. So if I select this text box and click duplicate up top here, it'll create a copy of it. Now I can go through and edit this text. And as you can see, it will inherit the formatting of the box that I copied. So that's a great way to make sure that you are keeping everything consistent on your page. So you can go through and using just those two methods, you can change all of the content on this page. Let's say you got a really great review. You could go in and enter the new text for the review. You could change the picture out if you have a photo of whoever offered the testimonial, and make sure that you're keeping your page up to date. The third major thing that might need to be edited is the form, which is obviously one of the most important parts of your page since this is how you're capturing leads. I would say probably one of the most common issues that vendors have is getting a lot of leads with personal email addresses. One way that you can solve that is to change the name of the form field from email to say work email. And that's not going to completely solve the problem, but it will help to reduce the number of personal email addresses that you get. To change a form field, you click on the form, and then over on the right here, you click Edit Form Fields, and that'll bring up the form editing box. And then you can simply select the form that you wish to edit, make any changes, and then hit Done. Some other things that you might need to do to a form would be adding or removing fields. So let's say that instead of capturing first name and last name separately, you want to capture that as one field. So we can go back to the form editor. I'll change this to full name. And then I'll select the last name and delete it by clicking the little trash can icon. It's just as simple to add a form field. Let's say that you, because you're now focusing on enterprises, you need to know what size the company is. You can add a text field. So I'm going to use a single text field. This is probably the most common field that you'll be using. Have it say company size, and this will give viewers the option to tell you what size their company is. And you can choose whether or not the field is required. Probably the second most common that we would use is a drop-down menu. So we can click on that and then choose custom drop-down menu, and we could name this company size. And then, well, actually, let me name two of them. Just call it company. You can go through and add different menu choices. So we could say number of employees and make that not a valid option. This will display this text as the field, and that way people will know that they can click on it and enter a choice. So then you can go through and add as many options as you need. So you have 0 to 99 and 100 plus. It's a really easy way to get some more information for your sales team about the incoming leads. Now, one thing to note is that when you're adding form fields, you definitely want to make sure that you don't go overboard and put too many in. We generally recommend having no more than 4 to 6 fields. Any more than that, and you could see a drop-off in conversions as customers don't want to give away so much information. You may also have to reposition the call to action button at the bottom of the form. If you add fields or remove them, it might change the spacing here. An easy way to do that is to click on the form, and then there's an option for auto position the submit button. When you do that, it'll pop it right into place. So that's pretty much it for the basics of editing a page. Let me go ahead and save the changes that I made. One thing to note, though, is after you make any changes to your page, you really want to update the mobile version as well. With Gartner Digital Markets, you can expect upwards of 20 to 25% of your traffic to be on mobile. So you definitely want to make sure that those customers are having a good experience when they arrive on your page. Within Unbounce, to edit the mobile version, you simply click mobile down in the bottom right, and that will take you to the mobile page editor. And once you get here, it's really just a matter of resizing things and making sure that they're placed correctly on the page. So for this image that we had added earlier, can resize it and place it in on the screenshot. You'll also notice that this text is huge and kind of flying around. With text boxes, one of the things that you can do for mobile is change the scale of it. 100 is the same size as it is on desktop. If you use something around 80, that's generally a good starting place for mobile, and then you can go through and resize the box until it fits well, and then position it where you want on the page. You can also change the size of sections. So as you can see, there's a lot of extra space down here. You can click any section, and it will bring this little handle at the bottom. When you click that, it lets you resize the section. So I can drag this up. So if you have extra space, you can make it fit. If you need more space, you can drag down and accommodate whatever content you added. And one final thing you might need to do for mobile is hide some things that you don't want visible. With mobile, a lot of times you don't want all of the images or other things like that visible because they don't really add any value to someone who's viewing this page on their phone, and they really just add something that they have to scroll past, and it makes it harder for them to get to the important information. So to hide things, what you do is click this arrow all the way on the left, and this will bring up the contents for the page. So you can click on, let's say I want to hide this laptop image. I can select it and then click this little eyeball icon, and that will hide the image. So we can go through and hide both of those, and now that won't be visible to mobile users. After you're done going through and editing everything on mobile, what you'll want to do is go back to the desktop version and make sure that everything still looks okay. I will click over here. You normally want to do that and just make sure that changing anything on mobile didn't affect desktop. If you move things into a different section, sometimes they'll be repositioned on desktop. So you want to go through and check and make sure that it's how you want it. And once it is, click Save. And then after you're totally done making your edits, click Republish. Now, when you republish the page, this is what actually makes those changes visible to anyone who's going to be visiting the page. So that's it. Editing pages is really that easy. And now I'm going to hand things off to Maria, and she's going to be talking a little bit more.
Hi, everyone. So Maria here. Chris, thank you so much for walking us through some of those basics of editing a page and configuring mobile. So I'm just going to close out of this republished notification here, and I'm going to go back to the overview, the page overview. And, yep, so this definitely looks familiar. The natural next step, obviously now you've edited your page, or you created your page, you're well positioned to capture some leads, but where are those leads going? Great question, because with Unbounce, one of the reasons that we chose this tool is that you're able to pull a full lead report at any time, and you are also able to set email lead notifications. And the way that you do that is in this box right here that I'm hovering over. You can either view your leads, and that's the lead report that I was talking about, and you can also set any email that you would like, or multiple emails, to receive lead notifications. So that's actually right below in Email Me New Leads. So we'll go ahead and edit that. So right now it looks like we have it set up as landing pages at Capterra.com. Anytime someone fills out the form on that page, they'll receive that notification, and you can add multiple email addresses here. You just have to add a comma and a space. So I'm going to add mine here, Capterra.com. And this is going to be the subject line of the email that you'll be receiving. This is typically the subject line that we use when we build pages for vendors, but you can definitely edit that for whatever is most helpful to your sales team. So let's say if it's a demo offer, you can put demo request from Capterra PPC. And yep, now those two emails will be receiving the email lead notifications. And again, you can sign up into your Unbounce account and pull that lead report in the meantime. And you can also download a CSV file of those leads. And you do that by clicking right here. And you can choose the date range. And once you do that, it will generate that file for you. It takes a little bit, but here it should pop up a place to download it. And this is just the basic form integrations that Unbounce has. If this is with the free account, they do with the paid account. With the paid accounts, you can integrate with things like MailChimp, Campaign Monitor. Actually, these are free. You can integrate with Marketo, HubSpot. So they have a few different options, but definitely this works for most of our vendors, those email lead notifications. So now you're all set up with this page, and let's say that you want to use this page is doing so well that you want to use it for another campaign, maybe a different directory within Capterra or something like AdWords. Absolutely no problem, but you won't want to be sending them to this page with this URL exactly, because then what's going to happen is that those leads are going to get mixed in with the leads from Capterra. You don't know which ones came from where, and that's going to cause a little bit of a problem. So you'll want to duplicate this page. And the way that you do that is that you go right here to this gear icon next to where it says variant A, and you can create a new page from this variant. This is going to just copy that page and give you a new URL, a new page overview. So it's going to be completely separate, and let's name it This will also be Capterra PPC, but let's say it's for directory number 2. We're just going to create that page. Perfect. So it looks like we've landed on the same place we were before, but this is actually a whole new page. You can see that it's not published yet. And actually, before you publish a duplicated page, you want to go in and just double check everything, make sure that everything is in place. Takes a little bit of time here, but this is the same screen that Chris was showing you before, but this is a brand new page. It looks like everything is in place. I'm going to want to hide this from search engines. I don't want any search engines picking up on that. You can also add the title here, by the way. That's going to pop up when you publish it in the little tab. But it looks like everything's okay, and I am just going to turn off and on the mobile just to make sure that that's going to be configured. Sometimes with duplicated pages, it does get a little funky, and it says that mobile is not configured, even though it is, and that can be mitigated by just turning it off and on. So we'll go back to the overview now that we've checked everything, and we will publish that page. So it says mobile responsive is enabled, looks good, so we'll publish it now. And like I said before, this is a new URL. You can set different people to get these notifications. If you have a sales team member that's going to take care of this directory and another one to take care of the other one, so you will want to do that again, and that's going to be over here. And you can change that. So let's say for this one, I don't want Maria at Capterra.com to receive this notification. And this is going to be for Capterra PPC directory 2. So we know that that's where this lead came from. So we'll update the settings there. Perfect. So now we have 2 pages. They are the same, but they're not the same. We have, if you go to all pages right here, you will see that this was the original one, and this is the one that we just duplicated. Okay, perfect. So now you have these great pages that you have edited. They're all up to date. Next thing you might want to do is see, well, how can I improve? How can I make this page better? And Unbounce is a great tool for this. It's a built-in A/B testing tool, and it's here. It says A/B Test Center. And the way that we're going to start an A/B test is we're going to create a variant of the current page. So this is different than creating a new page from the variant, which is what I did before. This time I'm gonna duplicate this variant right here. And now you see you have variant A and variant B. And this second one is the one that you're going to want to make the change in. And when you're doing an A/B test, we really recommend making one change at a time, so you know what's causing the lift in conversion rate. When if you're A/B testing more than one element, let's say you decided to change the value proposition and make the form longer, you don't know what caused the change in conversion rate once you're done with the A/B test. So you're really going to want to do one thing at a time. And let's say for this one, I want to test my value proposition. And I'll just make that change here. Perfect. And we will publish that. Actually, yeah. Perfect. So you get that notification, and we're going to go back to the overview panel. That's where both the variants are. And to officially start your A/B test, you're going to have to give some weight to the second variant, or to your challenger variant, as Unbounce calls it. Right now you have variant at 8 set as 100% of the weight. That means 100% of the traffic is going to get to that variant. But you want to give some of that traffic to this page. So let's do 50 and 50. So half of the traffic is going to go to variant A, and half of the traffic is going to go to variant B. And once you actually get visitors to these pages, all the data is going to be shown here. It's going to not just tell you the number of visitors, views, conversions, and conversion rates. It's going to tell you the level of confidence. So typically you want to aim for 95% or more confidence. That's significance level, if you remember statistics back in college. But yeah, so this is really great that it's built in. You don't actually have to do any of that math on your own. Once you have enough traffic and you can say, okay, I'm sure that that in variant B, that copy, that change that I made for the value prop got a better conversion and it's significant, you can end the A/B test and make this one the champion by going to the gear icon again and then promoting that one to champion. There's actually one thing that I did forget to mention. Anytime that you're making any of these changes that I was talking about here, you will want to republish the page. When you give some weight to variant B, you're going to want to hit that button. Otherwise, the A/B test is not actually going to go live. All the traffic will be going to variant A. So yeah, so just a little note there to always be hitting republish, just making sure that all your changes are saved. So right now, we will pretend that we've already run this A/B test. We got 200 visitors to variant A, 200 visitors to variant B, and we saw a great conversion in variant B, so we promoted it to champion. Now we're done, and you can go and run another A/B test, and it will be the same way. So now you can duplicate this variant again and make one change. So on what A/B test should you run? It really depends on your own situation. Definitely some good ones to test out would be the form if adding or removing, well, typically removing fields will help the conversion rate, but definitely testing copy, testing images, testing the form up at the top or up at the bottom. A lot of these things will vary by directory on what performs better, so it's always good to be testing. Yeah, and obviously I'm just scratching the surface of everything that you can do with Unbounce. But Unbounce does have some great documentation and tools for if you want to dig in deeper and see what you can do with this tool. And they also have a great support team. So if you click up here where it says support, they do have a live chat feature for some quick questions that you might have while you're working on your page. You can create a new support ticket, or this is what I was talking about before, documentation and community, both great resources to see what else you can do, or even get some basics if you want to dig in further into everything that we've covered today. Yep, so I think that's all that we have for today. And now we're going to move on to questions. We did get some questions here from, yep. Perfect. Oh, and I want to say again, we will be sending a copy of the recording and slides. So if we went too quickly through something, you'll have that on hand. So one of the questions that I have here is, why do you want to hide the landing page from search engines? So this is because what I was saying before, you want these landing pages to be used just for one channel, so you know what leads are coming from where. If they pop up in some search engines, the data will get a little bit muddy, and then you won't know which channel is giving you the best ROI. So you really want to be tracking that correctly. Um, if you have a way that you can track that correctly and want to use a landing page for search engines, definitely go ahead. But really important that you have that tracking set up and you know which leads are coming from where. Let's see. We have another question. How much does Unbounce cost? So Unbounce has a few different options. Unbounce does have a completely free account. And with that free account, and that's the one that we're using now, you can get up to 200 unique visitors a month. Although if you go beyond that, they're not going to close out the page and you're still going to be able to get some leads. You just might get an email or notification asking if you want to upgrade to one of the paid versions. And then with the paid versions, I'm not entirely certain what the prices are, but the reason that you would want to go to one of those is if you're using HubSpot and want to integrate with that, or Salesforce, or if you get a lot of traffic or want more than 5 pages, which is what the free account has a limit of 5 published pages. So those are kind of a bit of the differences. Oh, and also with the paid account, you don't have to use the Unbounce subdomain. So you'll see here that these pages say unbouncepages.com/Capterra. That's with the free account. But we haven't seen that really affect conversion rates. So if that's a really great option if you're not getting a lot of traffic and you don't need any of the integrations. And with this free account, it does in the pages also have a footer at the bottom that says that it was created in unbounce.com. But as I mentioned before, we have had vendors that started on a free account, upgraded to a paid account, and there wasn't really a huge impact on conversion rate or really at all. Let's see. How many pages should we have? So it really depends on your situation. In terms of for Gartner Digital Markets, PPC, I would definitely reach out to your marketing advisor to see if it makes sense to split out to have a page for each directory. Definitely, if the directories are not that similar, you'll want to cater to each one. And what other? Let me see. Sorry about that. Let me think about what other reasons you might have. Definitely, if you're using it for other campaigns, you're going to want to duplicate the page and have another page for that. But yeah, that's going to depend on your unique situation. And in terms of Capterra and Gartner Digital Markets, your marketing advisor would be the one that's able to help with that. Let's see. So I have, does your team offer additional help with landing pages? So we do offer help with the landing pages. As I'm sure you all know, we offer one free landing page and round of minor edits to our vendors, but we're also able to either create whole new pages if you just want to a rebrand, or we're able to do a refresh of your page if it's a little bit outdated. We've done pricing pages before. We do charge a low service fee, and to get a quote, you can just email landingpages@capterra.com, and our project manager will get in touch with you, kind of talk about what kind of work you're looking for, and then we'll go from there. Can you show me how to access the available templates again? So yep. So right here, we're in the page overview, and really when you first log in, this is going to be here, the create a new page. That is going to pop up all the different templates that Unbounce has. So I would say for PPC at least, you'd want the lead generation ones, or you can use one of the other ones and just add in your own form through the Unbounce editor. But yeah, these are a great starting point, and they have a few different ones, so definitely check them out. And then, so another question that I received was, what offer should I use? So I'm assuming that's call to action, and it's really going to depend. Capterra actually has some great blog posts on whether to use a trial or demo offer for Capterra, and those are typically the two that do best, but which one should you use? Again, it's going to depend on the situation. I would say which one has worked best for you in the past. You can A/B test them. So there's a few different options for choosing which of the CTAs. What I will say is that you're going to want to start off with just one offer. And if that's really what we recommend, but we have seen some vendors that have done well with two offers, so both a trial and a demo. In terms of Unbounce, that takes a little bit more, there's kind of a workaround that you have to do because you can only have one form on the page. So that's maybe something that our team can help with. Again, you can email landing pages at capterra.com. And let's see, I just got another question. If you're not a subscriber and you have published 5 pages, can you delete one and keep creating them as long as you never exceed 5? Yes, that's correct. So with the free account of Unbounce, you're only allowed to have 5 published pages. But if you unpublish one, you can definitely publish another one. So you don't have a limit as to how many you actually create, just how many you have published at a time. And then let's see. This question says, if we have the upgraded version, do we pay for every page that we add? I believe, let me actually check on that right now. I believe each of the paid plans, and even with the free account, it's kind of similar. You get a certain amount of published pages that you're allowed to have. The exact numbers I'm not certain, so we can check that here. Yep. So with the cheapest one, which is the Essential, the cheapest aside obviously from the free one, you get 75 published landing pages. And then the Premium, you get 150 landing pages. And then with Enterprise, which is a little pricey, but 375 plus landing pages. Yeah, so I think that's all that we have for today. And again, thank you so much for joining us on this. We hope that you've learned how to manage your landing page. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to email us at landingpages@capterra.com. And we hope to see you again.